All right, guys, it is finally here. We're talking about Schedule Builder. It is listed in your Action Rabbit account as Checkout Scheduler. So you are going to find the Checkout Scheduler here. I've already added it, but you will see the button to click. It will say Add. You will click that button. And then once you see a Remove button, you will see that it's added. You also see a little prompt in the top right corner that says it's been added. So that's adding it, and how to customize it. So we're going to go to default visual preferences here. We're going to go down to checkout schedule, and we have a variety of colors and terminology, and this is kind of what we're working on here on the right. So for mine, I have the um, uh, floating button here with a yellow background. Okay, so if I wanted that to be red or something like that, I could set that, and I could change the text color as well. I like that yellow color, so I'm going to leave it with yellow and blue. That matches the brand where I'm deploying this. And then if we want to set the drawer's background color itself, you can choose that as well. I'm going to leave mine as white. And so for my time format, I'm going to make sure it's set to 12-hour AM PM, so we can see over here that the hour format's kind of toggled to what we expect to see here in North America. And if I wanted to change the icon on my scheduler tab, it's kind of like a shopping cart. So if you wanted to include the shopping cart, you could have a shopping cart. I like the calendar icon, or if you wanted this kind of checklist icon, or if you wanted this ticket. It's up to you to choose. I'm going to stick with the calendar icon. So this is the box that appears once we've defined a student. So when we go to add a class to a student, it will ask for that student's information. So we'll ask for first name, last name, date of birth, and gender if you want. And then you will click add student to class. And then that student will appear like this. And then from there on out, you can just add classes right back to that student. If you had another student that you were enrolling, it would say assign to an existing student, or you'd have the ability to add another student. So I mean, you can have, I don't know, 6 students, something like that in here. Totally up to you. When a class is added, it will have the time, it'll have the name of the class, and it will have these, we're calling these day chips. So it says day chip right here. And if I wanted to change that color to, I don't know, let's make it green. I could make it green however you wanted it to be. Okay, I like the yellow. I'm going to stick with yellow. So that's what that is right there. And down at the bottom here, when we go to continue on, it is going to ask for the enrollee information. This is typically a parent, guardian, grandparent. Sometimes that might be you. Just depends. But you would put your information here. So that's what the guardian information is. If it's not a guardian for you, if you just want to write, enrollee info, you can write enrollee. It's up to you. There are these placeholders here. You can modify these to say whatever you want. By default, it says guardians. And then you can update the terminology here on the student cards. So assigned to existing student, you can say add class to the following student, or however you want, whatever terminology you'd like to include. And then once we have continued on, and we're right before we head over to the Jackrabbit registration with all this information pre-populated, um, there will be a section here. It will say proceed to checkout portal. This is what I have mine saying. And it says almost done. Proceed to the registration portal to finalize your schedule, and you can customize all that information as well. Okay. Once you're done here, you're going to click save down here in the bottom, and that is going to save your information. And then you are going to go to the tool that you'd like to turn this on at. So I'm going to go to this table test. And so up here by the save, get script, delete tool buttons, you have the ability to turn on a checkout schedule. So this is only going to appear once you've added the checkout scheduler to your Universal Action Rabbit. So you just click this, okay, and then this shows up here. So there's the calendar icon. There's the yellow color that I specified. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say, so if I'm adding to a schedule, I'm probably going to want to customize this. And instead of register here, I will say add to schedule. Okay, so I'm going to save that. Now when I click add to schedule, I'm going to be brought here. It's going to say Backflip Clinic, and it's going to ask for student information. So I will say John Doe, and then if I wanted to use a date picker, I could use a date picker and fire up here to a specific date, or I could just type 08/08 2018, and then I could pick a gender if I wanted to, and I would click add student, and then that student would live here like this. Remember the little date chip with the information we specified. Great. I'll click back here and I will click add to schedule, and I click add to schedule, and now it's asking me if I want to. Remember how we can specify this, assign to existing student, or I can add new student. So I will say Jesse Doe, I don't know, 05 2015, that's fine. And so this, I'll add her there. Okay. And then let's say I wanted to enroll for this front handspring clinic. I could assign that to John. So now John has multiple classes. Jesse has a single class. Now I'm going to continue, and it's going to ask again for guardian information. So I will say Jack Doe, Jack at doeenterprises.com, and I'll add a phone number here. And now I'm going to say finalize, and it's going to say proceed to checkout portal. Almost done. Proceed to the registration portal to finalize your schedule. And so I will click finalize schedule, and now I'm brought here with all my enrollment information pre-populated. And if you're like most of any of these other schools or academies, you're going to have policies for your parent, guardian, enrollee to agree to. They're going to go through that, and then at the bottom there they'll click submit registration.